Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast with Core 4 Complete Fitness. Your episode is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you all, guys. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic day so far. Welcome to the Complete Fitness Podcast. Before we get into today's topic and today's podcast, like always, and for every podcast, if you could please hit the subscribe button. That way we can keep boosting up the charts, helping more people, helping grow the podcast. And the second thing, if you could share it with somebody, if you know somebody that's trying to get in shape or has had trouble getting in shape, or you know that our little tidbits of information we give you could help somebody, feel to share it with them. There's a copy link on pretty much all the platforms. If you hit copy, you can paste it right to them, either text it to them, share it online, share it on Facebook, and we can keep pumping these out for you. Now, today's topic is one that goes extremely underrated, but it is probably the most valuable tool when you are trying to get in shape. And everybody thinks when you're trying to get healthy, it's 100% physical, right? You're going to the gym, you're physically moving your body, you're lifting weights, or you're on the treadmill, and there's some physical movement when you're going grocery shopping or you're eating clean foods. You're physically taking the food, putting it in your mouth. Everybody thinks physical, physical, physical. I got to work more. I got to move my body more to get more done. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about super underrated, but the mental part of getting in shape. And I would probably say the mental aspect of it is probably 80% of actually becoming a healthy individual. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why people don't get into shape, right? There's people that have treadmills in their basements, ellipticals, weights, and you're like, all you got to do is go downstairs for 30 or 45 minutes or an hour. It's right downstairs. Why don't you do it? And it's the mental barrier that gets them into trouble. So here today, we're going to talk about the mental aspect of it. If you are stuck in a rut, how to kind of overcome that, so that way you can keep progressing forward. But the mental side of it, guys, if you're like, I've tried over and over again, you're not weird. It's tough for people to kind of become healthy, stay healthy. So we're going to talk about how to break through that mental barrier so that way the physical stuff becomes easier and easier and easier. Now, biggest thing, guys, mentally, is people are creatures of habit, and people are creatures that like to have the same routine day in, day out, and generally we like to do the same things over and over again. That's why when you usually start working out or eating healthy, it becomes challenging in the first week or two. But once you have that new routine cemented in, it usually gets easier and easier, and you can just copy and paste, okay, day in, day out, kind of like going to get gas or doing laundry. It's just one of those things that you end up doing every day because it becomes part of your lifestyle. But when you're not able to kind of build up that first week or two, and you haven't mentally kind of set yourself up for success, it's going to get extremely difficult if you only plug away things that when you have time or when it feels convenient, you're always going to have this 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards, and you never actually make progress. Now, with a lot of people, one of the biggest questions we get asked in the gym is it better to work out in the morning, or what time of day should I work out? Should I work out in the morning, the afternoon, the nighttime? And just like we said in the beginning, stick with what you know is going to work better for you. If you're a morning person and you wake up and you're like, I got a boatload of energy, probably going to be better for you to work out in the morning rather than force yourself to do it in the afternoon. If you're more of a night owl and you kind of perk up again around 4 or 5 o'clock, stick with the night times. But stick with what your body is telling you. That way you're making it super easy mentally to kind of go with the ebbs and flows over the course of the day and what your body's telling you, than trying to kind of fight something that you know long-term just isn't going to work.
I would not, just for your last point, I have a million things going through my head. To your last point is, if when people ask me that, I go, whatever is easier to adhere to, but that doesn't also mean it has to be the same every single day. Now, more times than not, like in our situation, a group fitness, you get into a group, and let's say you come to 9:30 a.m. class. That's what works for your schedule. So Monday through Friday, you come to 9:30. You start to know people, familiar faces, familiar coaches. Coach gets to know you. It all just translates to a better community, a better vibe, right? And it makes it fun, way more fun than not fun. And some days you're going to have days where you don't feel like it, your body doesn't feel like it, and you don't go. And that's an honest representation of needing a rest day, because you go, yeah, that's fun. I like the atmosphere. I love the people. I love the workouts. I just can't do it today. When you don't like the atmosphere, don't like the workouts, don't like this, don't like that, then that overpowers whether or not it's a real rest day or not, right? Because all of a sudden it's a lot easier to go, I just don't feel like going today, I'm not going to do it. And we all have those days, and that's completely normal. And even if you love going to a place, there's some days you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do it. And you're like, okay. And sometimes you lose that battle, but that's the overwhelming battle that happens day in and day out. And so to answer your question about morning, night, whatever, I would say whatever allows you a chance at fun, like whatever seems more enjoyable is the right answer. And if that means it's 9:30 one day, it's 6:30 p.m. the next day, it's this, who cares? Because that way it's taking less of your mind. It's making it less of a hindrance. It's less of a obligation. It's less of a thing I have to do. Once it starts becoming that way in, and you wake up and you go, okay, I still got to get my workout in. I got to get my workout in. I got to go. It just becomes a big thing, a big to do. And that's when the wheels fall off, because all of a sudden you go, I don't have time for this. I'm out. And you don't have time for this just because you had one, you didn't sleep well, so you're tired, so you don't have time for it. Or you had one annoyance in your day. You had a flat tire, so that threw off, your morning by 45 minutes. Or you had, a tough work meeting, or whatever, your wife's mad at you, whatever it is. You get all these variables that all of a sudden are easily going to affect you, right? There's chinks in your armor. When your armor is great and you're strong and feel good about your workouts, and it's fun, it's something you look forward to, you can get a flat tire and you still make it work. You have an argument with your spouse, and you're more inclined to go, because that's going to give you, some good break, some good levity to the situation. So I think there's value in fun in a weird way, and just the levity of it not being an obligation, in order to find the strength to stay consistent. So it was the long-winded way to answer whenever you feel like it. That's what I say to people. I don't care. I don't know the scientific. It's a fasted cardio workout. Is it better for me? Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. From 99% of people, that's not going to matter.
Just go do it.
Keep moving. Do what's going to stress you out the least. That's the answer.
And that's one of the things how we talked in the beginning, what people will have, crap in their basement, dumbbells, kettlebell, elliptical, treadmill, whatever it is. But how likely are you to wake up at 5 a.m. when you're exhausted and the house is still asleep and it's cold and you're sleepy, and you're going to go, I'm going to go into the basement or the garage by myself right now, do this. And if you got more willpower, great, go ahead and do it. But
Right.
You can see how you're kind of fighting this uphill battle, where if it's a good ace in the hole to have, if there's the day that you're like, I can't get to the gym, or it's raining, or it's snowing outside, and you want to take some steps, by all means, go ahead. And that temptation is always there, right? When you can go, okay, I'm going to work out at 5:30 in the morning in my basement, let's say. And then you're like, oh, I just want 30 more minutes of sleep. And then 30 more minutes of sleep. And you're like, oh, I'll do it at 6:30. Oh, shit, I'm going to be late for work now. I'll do it when I get home from work. And then you're like, oh, I'll do it after the kids go to sleep. And all of a sudden it's 8, 9 o'clock. And then you're like, I don't want to really work out right now. I'll start tomorrow. So it almost has like this opposite effect, where that thing is always there. So you always know I can keep hitting the delay button. So it's because it's still going to be there waiting for me.
Right.
As opposed to having a set time where you're like, I know if I don't go there at 5:30 for my class or my session with my friends that I'm going to see at the gym and we work out, that's my only window. So I got to get it in at this time. So it does help kind of keep you honest, rather than just going, it'll be there in an hour, it'll be there the next day, and I can always do this. So whether it is something that you're doing at home on your own, or it is in a group atmosphere, have a set workout time that this is my time that I have to do it. Pretend like it's all going to vanish after an hour is complete. That way you stop kicking the can down the road, and it keeps you accountable to where you're going. Treat it like a work meeting. I got to be there at this time. I got to be in it. I got to pay attention. I got to put forth a good effort. And when it's done, it's over with and I can continue on with my day. But if you don't have that set start time and kind of finish time, it always just leaves that window open to go, I can do it in 30 minutes later, an hour later. I want to watch one more show. Let me send this email, this text message. Before you know it, it's the end of the day, or it's the next day, or it's the next week. And you're like, I got everything I need. I just have to get my ass moving. So that's why it's so important mentally, guys, to tell yourself, this is my workout time. Whether you're going to be in the gym or if it's inside your house, you have to be firm and you have to be rigid.
Yeah, that is the difference between people who stay on the course and come January aren't looking up at this huge mountain in front of them of restarting and not. And it's just, it is taking that, when it's not the way that you explained, when it's not something on your schedule, when it's not something you look forward to, when it's not something that you decided you control and you do, it controls you. It controls your day, and you're at the mercy of your workout. And so morning you wake up and you go do your workout, you're like, oh, thank God, I don't have to do this for another 24 hours. And it's weighing on your mind like it's this big obligation and this big negative thing. And that is what creates that when I wake up and I'm tired, I didn't sleep well, I'm going to hit snooze. It's going to, and doing that once a week versus doing that every day of the week and kind of more or less lying to yourself and going, oh, tomorrow morning I'm waking up. It's Wednesday. I said I was going to Monday, Tuesday. It doesn't matter. It's Wednesday. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to get my workout in. And then you know that that's not happening. You think it's happening. You say it's happening. And then it comes and it's not. And I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. People have done it forever. It's a lifelong thing. But that is the number one change is not allowing it to be such an obligation and weigh on you. It's to do, yeah, this is part of my day. And if 5:30 in the middle of the winter is not happening right now, maybe it's 6:30 p.m. and that's what you fit in your schedule. And it's nice because you get home from work and then you're running the kids from practice or whatever you got to do, Christmas shopping, and you go, no, this is cool. I can drop the kid off here. I can go get my 30-minute workout in. I can go pick them up. And it's kind of a nice part of my day that I look forward to because we have members in the gym at every single class, 5:30 a.m., 6:30, 8:30, 9:30, and then in the afternoon, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. There's all people at the classes, okay? Some classes are bigger, more attended, some are less attended, but there's people at every one of them. So at some point of the day, it was enough for you to go, yeah, I'm going to go to this spot. I'm going to go to the gym. But it's not letting that go, right? It's not doing it once and then just forgetting the power that had. You went, oh, okay, this was good. And so tomorrow when this time comes, I need to remember this feeling of walking out of this gym at 6 o'clock at night. I got my workout. I get to go home, make dinner, see the family.
I feel alive.
Yeah, I'm not just a zombie sitting on the couch while my family and kids are playing all around me and I'm attentive. I can do this. I'll clean the kitchen before bed so I don't wake up the next morning and then there's just a messy kitchen and blah, 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 blah. It's a weird compiling thing that is just so important with just moving your body and prioritizing that time to move your body. And whatever time it is, I think the more people in the fitness world, fitness space, us included, we talk a lot about starting your day off, get the workout out of the way, getting the workout out of the way. Yeah, I think on paper that's a beautiful way to do it. But if it's not till later, it's not till later. You just keep it a priority. You're not going to happy hour because you didn't work out at 5:30 in the morning. You're working out at 4:30 at night. So when everyone's going out, you go, I'll meet you there after, or whatever. I can't do it this time. So people, people get it. And the more committed you are to it, the easier it becomes.
Yeah. It's one of those things like, yeah, it does get easier and easier the more that you pencil it in. And eventually it's just, you think of it as not even exercise per se. It's just something that you do every day.
Well, it's more fun.
Part of my daily routine.
It's more fun. You're on your lunch break and you're around all of your work people who you like or you don't like. There's mix and match. And you're thinking about the gym people. You go, that's way more fun.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, everyone's done with work, and I'd rather go be with them. And then it's easy.
Yeah. They're your people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They're your tribe. They're your
yeah.
mindset. They're your
There's no obligation. You don't end work and go, ugh, now I got to go to the gym before I go home. I just want to go home. Are there days? Of course there's days. Of course there's days that happens. But that's when it becomes, in your mind of this negative aura, this vibe of this people. But, when you're in the middle of a day, you'd kill to leave work to go to the gym. It's just
yeah,
after. And you get the opportunity and you know I can. So it's just keeping keeping the fun of it, the positivity of it, the
yeah.
joy of it in the foresight. It's the easiest way to keep it up.
Agreed. So that covers kind of the workout portion. The other half, when it's time to get in shape, is everybody's favorite diet and nutrition.
Oh yeah.
So this guy's mentally is probably the toughest part for people to kind of hone in on. And like we said, if you think of the mental side of getting in shape is 80% of it because it drives the 20% of diet and nutrition. Think of diet as the 80% that drives the 20% of actually physically exercising, where how much more likely are you to hit the gym when you've had a great day of eating, when you don't feel like crap, when you're not lethargic, when you're eating clean foods? You're going to go, I feel good. I want to exercise. I want to move my body, as opposed to somebody who's been eating Pop Tarts and donuts and pizza. Odds are you're going to go, I feel like absolute crap. The last thing that I want to do is go try to push my body. It's going to probably make me feel even worse. So that 80% of your nutrition is going to drive the 20%, and vice versa. If you do work out in the morning, let's say, and it's 5:30 or 6:30, you got a great workout in, you're not going to go home and smash 3 donuts right away and undo the stuff that you just did. So if you are a
Right.
morning workout person, odds are that morning workout is going to kind of steer your course for the rest of the day, where you're like, I exercise, I don't want to undo what I just did in the morning, so I'm going to make some better decisions to help keep me on track and keep me in shape. But one of the biggest things, guys, with nutrition, it sounds very, very, very simple and plain Jane, but the food that is in your house, odds are you're going to eat it, whether it's good, bad, or in between. Like if it's just sitting in there, and I've told this to, my wife who usually does the grocery shopping, but I'm like, if you want to have a couple things in the house that's like your snacky, kind of a cheat meal sort of thing, keep it minimal. But if you open up your fridge and you're hungry and you have a bunch of stuff that's healthy in there, whether it's apples or turkey or whatever it is, you guys know healthy foods, you're going to eat it when you're hungry. As opposed to you open up your fridge and you have chocolate milk and you have juices and you have, processed crap up and all over the place, odds are you're going to eat that too. But if when you go grocery shopping, you're not setting yourself up for a win over the course of the week, and you're like, I'm going to buy all a bunch of processed garbage and I'll get 2 or 3 healthy things to sprinkle in there. Guess what? Those 2 or 3 healthy things are probably going to be pushed back in the fridge, or they're just going to go bad and you're going to eat the majority of what you buy. So when you're going grocery shopping, number one, the golden rule, never go grocery shopping hungry, because you're just going to buy whatever the hell you're tempted to buy. But number 2 is, even though it might not sit with you in the moment where you're like, I really don't want broccoli, I really don't want this, I'd rather go get, again, like Pop-Tarts or cereal over apples, buy them. Because if you buy them and they sit in your fridge and you see them every single day, you're probably going to eat those more than you are the other stuff. But for a lot of people, they go, I can't figure out while I keep eating all this crap. And you're like, well, just stop buying the crap. Don't
Uh-huh.
keep it in your house. Focus on the good stuff. And then again, if it's a movie night or a family night and you want to make some popcorn, it's not the end of the world, because 80% or 90% of your diet was all clean eating. So set yourself up for a win. Don't always turn every day into a mental battle or a mental temptation where every single time you walk downstairs or you're near the kitchen, you're like, oh my God, we got Pop-Tarts and we got chips. and we got fruit snacks, and we got this, and we got, whatever, candy over here. And I can just have one of these, and it's so easy. Set yourself up so it's super easy. So when you open up the fridge, you go, I got eggs I can whip up in 5 minutes. I got to make a quick wrap if I want to, and make it super duper easy for yourself to not have to fight these internal battles 24/7.
Yeah, this gets into the goldfish analogy that I use all the time, and we just have to trick ourselves because we're all just dumb goldfish in a way. And it's like, I think of, we make bread, like I said, and so when you make bread, it's in a loaf, it's not all sliced, and so we wrap it in this paper wrapping thing, and it's sitting on the counter. But I know if I want to eat that, I have to unwrap it, take it out, then I have to get a knife and I have to cut it, then I have to clean up all the mess, then I have to put it back. So all those steps immediately deter me from doing it. I go, no, I'm not going to do that.
Too much work.
If it was all pre-sliced and sitting in like an easy open container, I would be more apt 1,000 times a day. If I'm hungry, I'll walk in there, I'll grab one of these, or whatever it is. I'm using bread in this example, but it's okay to just be mindful of the fact that if it's there, I'm gonna do it. And if it's more work to do, I'm gonna be less inclined. So to your point, our refrigerator right now is actually pretty clean, pretty healthy. And so when it's time to go in and eat, I got to make Rowan's lunch when this is done. There's like 3 or 4 options that I got to make. I'm going to make myself chicken, and then I know he's not going to eat chicken, so he's going to have grilled cheese, or he's going to have something. And it's just very, very, there's not a ton of options. There's not, or I could make a pizza, or do the chicken nuggets, or could do the mac and cheese, or whatever. And some of it's on purpose, some of it's not. Some of it's just kind of right now the way that our shopping went this weekend, because we had the work party and all this kind of stuff that threw us out of whack. But it does help, And then when I'm hungry and it's 8 o'clock at night and I'm tired and I'm hungry and I go, it'd be so easy to. We got Rowan a box of Teddy Grahams last week, and if you think I wasn't just grabbing handfuls of Teddy Grahams all the time, I was, because
They're delicious.
They're delicious, and it's easy. It's right there, and there's no getting out of the bag, cutting it, getting out peanut butter and jelly if I'm making a sandwich or turkey or whatever, or heating everything up, or whipping up eggs and cooking and taking the time, 5-10 minutes, to actually prepare some real food. I can immediately go, it's not worth it, and I'd go occupy my time doing something else, and it's okay. Sometimes we're not as hungry as we are bored, and so when the boredom is easily obtainable, we're just filling our bodies with tons of pointless calories. And when you're hungry, you will take the time to make the eggs, to get the bread out, to make a sandwich, to do whatever your deal is. But yeah, getting the stuff that is just easy and convenient. And it's the same as if you are having chips, pouring the bag into a bowl and not taking the bag with you to the couch versus taking the bag with you to the couch. You're going to eat way more because it's just mindless. It's the same kind of principle that you just apply to anything. If you only have real whole foods, when it comes time to snack, you have to grab that apple or that broccoli or the turkey, or the whatever, or you need to do some cooking because that's all your stuff is filled with. And then it comes around, because then you go to a Christmas party and somebody brings cookies, and so then you have cookies on the counter, and guess what? All week you just walk by the kitchen and you grab a cookie when you're in there, and that's okay. That limits the damage, because that's just those 2-3 days where that's normal. But if that is also competing with the chips and crackers and cookies and cakes and Teddy Grahams that you're eating all week, it's a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah, and like we said too, with the healthy stuff, we're always tempted by stuff that we shouldn't have. And if you think of this at nighttime, okay, let's say it's 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. You're watching TV, you're watching a movie, and you put the kids down, then your mind starts wandering, and you're like, we got this downstairs. We got whatever it is, donuts or cookies or cupcakes or Pop-Tarts or whatever it is, and you immediately want that. But if your house doesn't have that crap in it, or it's very, very minimal, and you have, like you said, some leftover chicken, or you have broccoli or an apple or a banana, usually at night you're not like, I got a hankering for a chicken breast right now.
Right.
So it helps you just stay in between the lines when you know that temptation's out of the house. And if you're really, really hungry, and you're like, I gotta eat, I'm gonna have some chicken or I'm gonna have whatever
Right.
it is that your
You would
healthy
eat
food
it.
is. Yeah, go for it because you know that it's good. But 9 times out of 10, you know, it's when the temptation is sitting inside of our house and we're thinking about it and you go, I really want this and I really want this. And again, it's not what you do every once in a while that gets you in trouble. If it's a time that you had something sweet for, you know, a week or 2 weeks, not a big deal. But if it's something that you do habitually every single day, that you go every night at 8, 9 o'clock, I whip open the pantry and I have a cupcake or a muffin or whatever it is, you know, again, one day of that isn't a big deal, but 1 month of that, you can see where things start kind of getting out of whack. But I know with people, you know, we've said in podcasts before, but the reason why almost half of our population is overweight or obese is because of this reason. There's gyms almost on every single corner right now. There's, you know, grocery stores, you know, it's relatively easy per se to pick out the healthy ingredients. So you would think people just go, well, there's a gym there. I got workout stuff in my basement. I know the stuff to eat. And it's kind of just you want to shake them and go, well, why aren't you doing it? It's all because most of it is upstairs. And if you're setting yourself up for failure every single day or every single day is this constant uphill battle, you know, it's going to be really hard, you know, to kind of just ride it till the wheels fall off, where you might do good for a day, you might be good for 2 days. But if every single day someone brought, let's say, a pie into your house and it just sat there, odds are over the course of a year or even a couple days, you're going to cave and have a piece of pie. So eliminating the temptation, eliminating the constant kind of mental battle or the struggle every day, and just make it as cut and dry, copy and paste day in, day out is kind of the key to always have success going forward.
Yeah, the more variables, the more options for bad. Which is kind of a weird way to look at it. You know, limit it. And yeah, you're exactly right. We've all had the time where there's just nothing in the house. Like, have you ever had that when you just haven't gone grocery shopping and you're like, I'm hungry, but there's nothing. We don't have anything, and you open the pantry 1,000 times and you keep looking like next time there's going to be magic stuff in there that I didn't see. You know, it's there, but there's some merit to it. You're not just filling your body with stuff you don't even necessarily, definitely don't need, but that necessarily might not even want. But you know, and it happens to the best of us, and limiting that to 1 or 2 days is going to be a game changer rather than every single night. You know, you don't get home from work, put the kids to bed, and then immediately go, okay, where's the sugary cereal or ice cream or cookies or chips? Where
Yeah.
I'm going to go sit on the couch, and this is my time. And I would love to do that. You would love to do that. A lot of us would love to do that. A lot of us do that. But at some point, you got to go, well, this is actually very bad for me. This is leading to the other 23 hours of my day not feeling good and not looking good and not wanting to be, you know, not feeling the way that I should. I can sacrifice this hour Monday through Friday, and I do this on Saturdays and Sundays or what have you. Like I told you, I'm a ice cream guy. Everybody knows this if you listen to the podcast. Ice cream guy 101. Ice cream does not stay in my house more than a day, which is good and bad. But if I get it, it's because it's like, yeah, this is ice cream day. It's Saturday or it's Sunday night. A lot of times it's Sunday after hockey. I get home, I eat some ice cream, I go to bed. I feel awful the next morning till about noon, and then I'm back. But it's not in my house anymore. That's it. I get enough for that one time, which is too much because ice cream's just awful for you, especially with all the crappy ingredients in all of them now. But yeah, if it was in my house every single night, I'd be going to the well, man. Every night. I'm not too proud to say it. It's you know, luckily I don't have that problem with breads and chips and stuff. I can avoid it, but ice cream, if it's there, baby. So I don't let it. Once a week, tops.
That's the wonderful thing about being sensitive to dairy.
Oh, you don't have it.
Damn, I love ice cream, but I know if I eat it, I was like, I will balloon up and
Yep.
just be in hell for 24 hours. But the good and bad. But what else, peoples? Should you need anything to help you stay on track? I know we talked about kind of the mental side of things. If you are somebody that has a bit of a sweet tooth and you're like, this is just my thing, our protein shakes, the new one, the vanilla cake whey, is delicious. It just came out last week, but if you have a bit of a sweet tooth and you know every night I want to open up the pantry and raid it and have something sugary, the protein shakes are delicious. It tastes almost like you're having a real milkshake. Everybody in our gym loves it. Everybody that buys it online loves it. They're fantastic. Our gummies, guys, we have a sleep gummy. We have an energy gummy, the sleep gummies. Also delicious. If you want to give yourself like a little treat at the end of the night, you just need 2 of them and they conk you out pretty darn good. But we have everything under the sun. Green supplement tastes delicious. If you go to core4supplements.com, again, we have everything from protein to vegan protein to sleep gummies to energy gummies to creatine to pre-workouts. You name it, we carry it. And if you watch or listen to the podcast, you'll save 10% off of everything. One more time, core4supplements.com. Use the code word podcast at the checkout. You'll save 10%. And you get free shipping on all of it if you spend over $100. So if you want to buy something for your friends or family for Christmas time, we'll ship it right to your door for free. And you didn't even have to leave the house. But that is all we got, peoples. Hopefully that helps you guys remember the 80% drives the 20%. So half of the battle, or more than half the battle's up here. If you can conquer that brain that's above your shoulders, then your body will always follow suit behind it. Well, that's all, peoples.
Look how tiny my head looks when I sit like this.
I know. Why is your body normal, but you look like the guy from Beetlejuice?
I've just been playing with that this whole time, just laughing in my own head.
It's like those mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
All right, peoples. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Peace.